Editing is a very crucial step in filmmaking because that's when you take everything you've shot so far and you throw it at your program of choice, be it DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, or Final Cut Pro. Is anybody still using Vegas?
What?
I actually started from Vegas, by the way. But in any case, this is the point where you throw everything you've shot so far and you decide how to mix and match everything, add sound, colors, color grade, all of that. Because a very big part of a movie is filming it, but at the end what decides the tone of the movie or the film itself is the editing. And editing is super powerful. For example, I can remove this plant, or I can make this plant disappear. And because I'm cutting out all the pieces of me moving everything out, it looks like magic, everything just disappears. I can even make myself disappear and keep talking as if I'm not in the frame, or reappear again. This is the power of editing. Another cool thing you can do with editing is you can also make yourself appear in a completely different area, because trust me, where I'm shooting is nowhere near the outside. But in editing is where you decide in what order your clips will go one after the other. It's where you decide how your movie will flow. So let's go back inside. And we're back. Where the hell am I? Well, that's because where I came from is where I'm supposed to go back to, because direction matters. Direction matters. How did I get here again? By the unwritten law of film, if we go there, we'll end up someplace else, which I'm not really eager to check out. Yeah, so let's go back to where we came from. This way. Direction matters. If I went to the left and I want to return to this place, then I can't keep going left. I'll end up being someplace else. Because if I end up being here, it looks weird to the viewer. How can I go left and keep going left and end up being here? Unless of course you want to convey that the room is circular, but that's hardly ever the point. In the short film, for example, I was in the living room and then I went to the right and then to the kitchen. On my way back, I did the exact same journey, but the opposite direction. But what if you get it wrong? I mean, when we're filming, we have a lot of clips, we have a lot of things in mind. What happens if we get one clip wrong? What if one clip goes to the left and we have other two that go to the right and we want to convey motion from one to the other two? Well, it's okay. You can actually flip the footage, and it's supported in all the editing softwares out there. But be wary that if you flip one clip, you might need to flip the others. My hair, for example, goes to a certain direction. So if I flip the living room clip, I need to flip all the others, because if my hair all of a sudden goes to the other direction, it would look weird. VFX or visual effects are always tied in my brain to a green screen and a huge Hollywood production with tons of animators and animations that a normal human being can never achieve. But before you go up that high horse, I recommend you actually check YouTube. And if you're like me and you use DaVinci Resolve, I can super recommend you Billy Ripka here, from which I got the inspiration of a hologram. Or you can check out Mr. Alex Tech, which gave me the inspiration of creating glitches inside my video. YouTube is full of other examples and other tutorials from which you can draw inspiration. But if you decide to actually go for a green screen like here, try using footage which is static, like me, just talking. You can see that I'm not moving my hands. In fact, it's just a blue mattress with a white wall, and that's it. And it's quite simple. You can mask yourself out quite easily, and I'll link down below specific guides for how you can mask yourself out. Start small. take a very easy one and run with it. With time, when you take more and more VFX upon yourself, you'll get better and it will be easier for you to make even more complicated and interesting things. Also, use the internet as your resource, because half of the things I used I didn't even make. The dashboard, for example, was from a website I found. Don't forget to check the internet, it's your best friend. Colors, or their lack of, are very important to setting a certain atmosphere to your clip. Because if, for example, we remove color, it can cause the scene to be more moody, more sad. You can see it oftentimes in horror movies or dramas, for example. But if we add a lot of colors and make the footage very saturated, it can bring and show certain happiness of the character. You can see it in comedies, for example. They're very saturated, very happy. In this footage, for example, I'm sitting in the living room and I'm freezing. You can see that the colors are very muted. But when I get back to the living room with a hot cup of tea and I drink that cup of tea, the colors change. The footage becomes much more saturated. And you can see from my last week's video that the music also changes. The track becomes a happy one. Mix that with the added saturated colors, makes the track happy. The character becomes happy after he sips his tea because he's not cold anymore. I would suggest that the next time you color your film, do it very gently, in small touches, because overdoing it can cause a very colorless movie or an oversaturated one. So play around with it and see how you feel. Try different versions and see what works for you. Down to its core, editing is taking all the clips you filmed so far, putting them in a specific order that makes sense, adding music or sound effects at specific keyframes or times, again, to make sense, to get a movie, a clip, a film, whatever you want to call it. But if you factor in VFX, masking, and a lot of other things that you can do in editing, then you get this huge monster with a lot of tentacles and you don't know where to start or where to end. So start with the basics. Nail down direction and coloring. Make your footage make sense. Make the color tell a story, tell an atmosphere, and later you can add more layers and experiment until you feel more comfortable to learn even more. Because in the end, filmmaking is a process of learning and studying. Thank you for watching. Smash that like button to spread this video to people all around the world. And make sure you subscribe to the Elusive Frame. Click the notification bell as well so you'll get notified of new videos. In here we do filmmaking and we focus mostly about short films with a spice of really bad jokes. So make sure you subscribe and you click the notification bell. Don't forget, or else you won't be notified. I've been Tim and I had a ton of fun filming this video. This is part 2 of a short series about things I learned from shooting a short film. So to the right of me you can see part 1, which is about sound design, or part 3, which is about the filmmaking and planning process itself. Thank you for watching and go out there and edit. Good luck.